Just want to let you lot know that if you're watching this clip on the Fozcast YouTube channel, the full episode is now available to watch exclusively on Spotify, and it's free. Come on.
Right, next up, I've got a question for you guys. How much do Premier League referees get paid?
That's a good question.
Off the top of my head, I don't actually know the figure, but I know they're on a contractual figure. So I think it'll be big money for a Premier League referee. So I would say they're probably on a contract worth about £100,000.
Good, I'm glad you said that's what I think.
As a kind of starting point, and then it'll be just like a player. I think it's appearance based.
Yeah.
So they'll get a set fee for each game that the referee, and I think if you achieve certain markers and you get into UEFA competitions a FIFA World Cup, so I think it's actually a bit like a player in terms of they've got a set contract, then it's appearance based, and I think because of Howard Webb, certainly the top ones in that PGMOL now, I think it'll be incentivised on performance as well.
They get properly looked after as well, though, you know. So you think they're probably waiting. I bet they get told probably 2 weeks in advance, maybe, about where they're going to be, which Saturday, which game they're going to be doing. Especially if they're Premier League referees as well. They get put up in the hotel the night before.
Well, they do VAR now as well.
The VAR that they get put up in.
So here's my big question to you. What does a referee do during the week?
I think just work on their fitness, probably. There'll be a load of courses that they have to keep topped up on and make sure they're on top of
rules,
the rule book, and making sure they know exactly what it looks like.
Do they all go to one place and have I
bet they do testing.
They're not left to their own devices anymore.
Chance.
There's an actual base at St George's Park for them. So I think they'll be there 1 or 2 days a week, and part of that will be fitness, but part of that will be debriefing, video analysis of each and every individual performance. I'm sure there's Zoom calls with Howard Webb, or there's probably 3 or 4 senior referees who finished over the last few years, haven't there? Like Martin Atkinson, he's probably got 4 or 5 that he mentors and delivers to, and so on and so on. So I think it's become a real professional operation, and that's why they paid the money at the very top now. Obviously there'll be a programme like I would have as a goalie to try and get young talent or young goalies through at a certain club. I think there'll be mentoring. They'll know about young referees at step 3, 4, 5, whatever, and there'll be programmes to get these guys through, as in, if you're in League 2 football, you want to get to the Championship, and Championship to the Premier League. So I think it's all become a lot more professional, for sure.
Do you want me to give you the exact answers?
If you've got the exact figures...
According to The Athletic, the Premier League referees are paid either £73,191 a year, £105,257 a year, or £147,258 a year, depending on how experienced they are at the top level and their rank within the PGMOL. In addition, they are paid an extra £1,116 per game. That means if one of the highest regarded referees in the Premier League works across all 38 games in the season, they could earn £189,666 in a single campaign. That does not include European competitions and any, above and beyonds with cups, etc., etc. So I would suggest that they should be paid very well, because the amount of money in football, you need to pay the refs well, and hopefully you'll get a very, very good performance in return. Hopefully.
It's not necessarily about the money in football, it's the amount of flack that they have to take. I think
is it worth it?
It's not enough, is it? It's not enough.
It's not
compo.
It's compo for all the abuse and grief. Like, I guarantee you, referees aren't allowed to just go walking down the street and get away with life as a normal folk. You know that. They will be getting pelters.
Well,
absolute pelters.
My lad, I don't know if your lads, one of my lads is getting put through a course through his club, and he's actually reffed a couple of age group games for the girls. And for him, he's like 15, 14, 15. And he gets like 30 quid.
Buzzing.
30 quid, absolutely buzzing. But like when he first was going to do it, to be honest, I'd rather him go and work in a cafe or something, because I had to sit with him and be like, right, okay, you're doing, and my wife was saying, it's girls under 13s, it'll be fine. And I'm saying, no, listen, he needs to be prepared, because quite possibly he's going to get absolutely hammered.
Without doubt, especially Sunday League. I see some of the parents, the way they act and the way they talk to the referee sometimes. I just think, woof.
Well, wow. I saw it last Sunday. It is really tough. There were a young referee. He referees a lot of the Redditch games, to be fair. And the linesman flagged for offside, and the opposition manager ran across that linesman.
Ran across the pitch?
Yeah. so upset with the decision, and then obviously ranting at this young kid who's the referee, and his dad's there, as the ref. And at the end of the game, I seen them all talking and things, and it just is very difficult. And it's not an easy path and a career to choose, is it, to be a referee? So if you get to the very top, these guys, and deservedly so, earn the money. And as I said, I do know a few referees, and I can't remember the instance, but there were a big decision that they got wrong. It might have been the Liverpool game or the year before, with an offside or something.
The Tottenham one.
Yeah, something like that. But they were all away on holiday because it was an international break, the ones who weren't on internationals. And I know one of the guys I knew were away with his family skiing, and he had to leave that skiing trip because it was the proper thing and all get back.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you remember when we played JCB golf course?
Yeah.
Lovely course.
Oh, yeah.
Very lucky.
Yeah.
We walked in, right, into the clubhouse. Who sat? It was a referee. It was a referee's day out, wasn't it?
Yeah, convention. Chris Foy was there, wasn't he? Not Chris Hoy, not the track cyclist.
Wasn't it Mike Dean? But Mike Dean was. It was Mike Dean, wasn't it?
No, it was Chris Foy.
Was it Chris Foy? Sorry.
They used to when I used to referee games at Southampton. That was my nickname when I was refereeing. I was known as the shit Mike Dean, which is a bad statement, isn't it?
I think I know the answer to this one, just to the nature of the game. But when players are injured over a certain amount of time, do they get moved to like statutory sick pay, or are you always on full wages?
Yeah, full wages, no chance, mate. You try and do that. They tried to introduce something like that into the lower leagues, didn't they? Last season.
That's right.
Where if you're out injured for I think over 3 months or 6 months, then you will go down to sort of basically statutory sick pay. But very quickly, the PFA and everybody basically just was like, no,
well,
no
I think
chance.
I said this on not the last Fozcast or the Fozcast before, that in the lower structures of the league now, they are doing contracts where the lads are not getting paid in the summer.
Wow.
Really?
So for that 2-3 month period, it's...
I don't know the exact number of weeks, but there's a certain period of time where obviously at a certain level, there's obviously no money stream or whatever, and lads are only getting paid, let's say it's for 45 weeks a year instead of 52.
Right, next question. Simple one. Would a player reading a book on the coach get the piss taken out of him?
Depends who it was.
This is the level we're at with football.
Depends who it was and depends what book they're reading. If somebody's reading 50 Shades of Grey, they are going to get the piss taken out of them, right? If they're reading about, and then he slowly moved his hand down my thigh.
It's not that kind of podcast, Ben.
Then he's getting the absolute rip taken out of him, right? But if it's...
what if it's a player doing, I don't know, reading a book on business management or something?
that's not a problem.
No one's having a go.
It's not a problem
Do you know
whatsoever.
what, when I think they would get the piss out of them, just say you were playing for Jose Mourinho or Fergie or Klopp and you're reading his autobiography on the bus.
No, that's busy. That's busy. That is double busy. Great book, this, boss. Brilliant read.
Could you sign it for me?
Exactly.
Can I play today, please?
Thanks everybody for watching. We hope you enjoyed this clip of the Fozcast. If you would like to watch the full episode, it is now available exclusively on Spotify for free.